They called it a cup of tea, but for me, it was the cup that broke my world. This was the day I was accused of murder. I was 17 at the time, just finished my school. I needed to learn a skill. My mother suggested I go over to my uncle's place. Change of environment, as she called it. On getting there, I got acquainted with everyone and I settled in. Started my skill learning while I waited to further my education. My uncle has 5 children, and I was age mates with the last one. Not too long, my name started ringing bells in the house due to my passion for house chores and cooking, and my intelligence. All 5 children thought they have seen a new house help, even though they had one in their house already. My uncle's wife liked the idea of me being good at domestic work, but will oftentimes tell me to go inside their room as soon as my uncle is around. My uncle, being an observant man, understood every personality under his roof. He would often smile and shake his head at every act of hypocrisy by his wife and children towards me. Not long, the only friend I had in the house was the housemaid and the dog. As I became a constant reminder of who an ideal child should be to his children by their father, and it angered their mother as well. One day, my uncle traveled. That was one of the longest and most humiliating 2 weeks of my life. I was starved, locked outside occasionally. I really wanted to go back. I had no money. My hands were tied. I thought I had seen enough, not until I saw my uncle's wife sneak in a man one fateful night. As usual, I was asked to stay at the backyard, but heard the gate sound and I was sure it was late, so I tiptoed to see who it was. My uncle's wife took him into her matrimonial bed. Very early in the morning, he was leaving, and so I appeared at the point he was giving her a farewell kiss. I shouted, "Ha, Auntie, is this what you do when my uncle is not around?" The man ran out of the gate, and she beckoned on me not to make any sound. From that day, my uncle's wife became overly nice to me in exchange for my silence. She cried and gave me so many excuses for doing what she did, begged me to keep my mouth shut and save her family. Well, I obeyed. My uncle got back and everything was okay. The deal he went for was successful, and he gave me a hint of how he is going to change my life and that of my mother. Due to the breakthrough, I was super excited. My uncle's wife and everybody at home were all happy. Or so I thought. One fateful day, my uncle said he wanted a cup of tea. So his wife, who was sitting with him at the time, called the maid to set water for hot tea. So I followed her into the kitchen while we chatted. My uncle's wife came and made the tea, gave it to the maid to take it to my uncle. As she was going, my auntie called her back to come check something, so she gave the tea to my uncle's first son. I was leaving the kitchen as well, but my uncle's son, seeing he was heading to the bathroom, then called his immediate younger sister to take the cup of tea to their father. On getting to the sitting room, their father wasn't there, only the other 3 siblings playing Ludo at the time. So she dropped it and left. When my uncle returned to the sitting room, he complained the tea was cold. So he called the last child to go warm up the tea. After it was warmed, my uncle's wife, who has been in the kitchen, called me to come take the tea to my uncle. I did as instructed. My uncle took his tea while reading his newspapers. Everything was just fine. He later called the entire family together, told us of his plans to share money for savings for our school, and that his wife was going to put the money in savings for us the next day. We were all excited. Our excitement was cut short when my uncle started coughing. It became intense. He started coughing blood. My uncle's wife raised alarm. Neighbors gathered. Confusion everywhere. In few minutes, my uncle's condition got so bad, he started pointing his hands to a particular direction, looking at the cup of tea and trying to say something. It was my direction. Everybody looked at me in shock, and they failed to see that my uncle's wife was also closely behind me. She was the first to pounce on me while my uncle gave up the ghost. She dragged me and accused me of poisoning her husband. I was almost lynched before the police came and took me away. My world crumbled. The police started to investigate the case. This was when I got to know that the man I thought was my uncle was actually my father. How could this be? I was in shock and had so many questions that needed answers. My mother has been contacted, and she was at the police station to see what was going on. My uncle's wife has been calling for my head while insisting I killed her husband. The police swung into action. They had questions to ask like, who made the tea? Who served him the tea? How many people had access to this cup of tea? Who had a motive to kill him? This was when it dawned on all of us that we were all suspects. as all of us had either touched the cup of tea or was in the same place as the teacup for a little while. So I quickly arranged in my head the nefarious activities my late uncle's wife had indulged in to tell the police. Police, to my uncle's wife. So, madam, you said in your statement that you made the tea, gave it to the maid, who in turn gave it to your first son, who gave it to his immediate younger sister to give it to her father, and she dropped it in the sitting room with the other 3 siblings present playing Ludo, and your husband wasn't there, alright? My uncle's wife: yes, sir, but I am sure it is this low-life village opportunist of a girl that my husband brought from the gutters that killed my husband. She was crying profusely. Police, why would you say so? Do you have proof? My uncle's wife: because she also took the tea to him. Police, yes, after your last daughter, who was one of those playing Ludo in the sitting room, had taken the tea back to you in the kitchen to be warmed before you asked this village girl, as you so called her, to take the tea to your husband. Why do you think she is the one that killed your husband and not any other person that came in contact with the said cup of tea? My uncle's wife sobbing: it's her I want justice. Meanwhile, my mother, so desperate to say something, screamed, my daughter is innocent. This evil woman wants to get rid of my child because all her children are illegitimate. And even though her husband knew the truth, he kept the secret to preserve his family reputation. When her husband found out 4 out of the 5 children were not his, he got my younger sister pregnant, just so he can have a biological child of his own. Surprisingly, this evil woman was also pregnant for her last child at the time. She gave birth before my sister did, and her last child still turned out not to be her husband. After my sister gave birth, she passed away, and that was how I have been taking care of my sister's child as my own. Her father and I chose to keep it a secret till she is old enough. Her father provided for her, but we lived a simple life to avoid eyes and numerous questions. This revelation left everybody in disbelief, me in shock and dumbfounded and eyes full of tears. I exclaimed, so mother, you mean you are not even my real mother? And I just lost my father as well? What kind of life is this? Why is life so cruel to me? Why was all this kept away from me? Why was I cheated this badly? Why me? Both of you took away the only opportunity I had to enjoy my father. Who told you it was best for me? I feel like dying right now. Police, this is not the time for family reunion. All of you will be detained and properly interrogated. Me, sir, I did not kill my uncle, who I just found out is my father. I have no reason to. He was nothing but nice to me while growing up, thinking he was my uncle. I liked him a lot. I didn't see him often. I am innocent. My uncle's wife desperately wants my head because I saw her and and a man the other day in the house. I promised I wasn't going to say anything, but she pleaded with me. So, why is she trying to make me pay for what I didn't do? My uncle's wife. Sir, she is lying. Nothing like that ever happened. My husband was pointing at her before he died, trying to say something. And these opportunists cannot be my husband's child. The maid quickly interrupted. But madam, you were standing almost behind her. What if you were the one Oga was pointing to? My uncle's wife, may God punish you. So you and this girl are working together. So the maid asked her, but madam, they said all your children is not for your husband. So what are you fighting for? My uncle's wife was red with anger. So there was murmuring across the hall of the station, looking at her in disdain. My mother kept crying as she threw herself to the ground, chanting, "My daughter is innocent." I sobbed bitterly. Maybe he was pointing at me to tell everyone I am his child, just maybe. So a search team was sent to our home to do a thorough search for anything that could help in the investigation. Lo and behold, a vial of poison was found in my uncle's first son's room. After much questioning and drilling, he confessed to knowing that he and his siblings are not his fathers, and that their father was trying to give everything he owned to his only biological child. And he did not want that to happen, hence his action. He said he saw an opportunity to poison his father by lacing the teacup with the poison a day before, as that was his father's special teacup, and he likes drinking tea. So even if he was not home, nobody will ever suspect. After all the wailing and the kiss, my uncle's people took all of us to the township to do a particular test, and I was truly the only match, the only true child of my father. The true culprit of the murder was sentenced, and I was vindicated, even though I was left heartbroken by the turn of events. Life is indeed unpredictable and strange. If you find this story interesting, kindly like, comment, and share your thoughts. And do not forget to subscribe.